All right. Becoming becoming an incredible video creator. My name is Julian Melanson, and I've spent years diving into the filmmaking process and really trying to deeply understand what creates incredible video content. And what I found out after creating so many different projects was it doesn't matter what kind of equipment that you have, what kind of camera that you own, or what kind of editing software that you're using that creates an incredible video. What matters is the person behind that equipment, right? That's creating that idea. And then what's behind that is that person's understanding of these deep, timeless principles and keys that act as a foundation for all of your ideas and creativity and equipment to build on top of. So you can either go to film school and spend thousands of dollars and get into debt and then be paying off debt for your entire life. I tried that. I dropped out after 2 months. It didn't work for me. Or you can search around online and find answers to your questions through YouTube and through Google. That's the way that I educated myself over the years. Now, I totally believe that courses like this are a practical and accessible way in our modern day and age to gain and access information that changes you, that changes your career, that enhances who you are and allows for you to become the absolute best version of yourself. And so, with all of that said, I'm incredibly excited to really get into this course. So, briefly, I'm really going to try to introduce the four main aspects that this course will involve. Now, we're going to be starting with personal development. I know that this is a filmmaking course. Why would we be starting with personal development? That doesn't make sense. But really, another thing that I began to understand is that if you learn just how to replicate another person's specific techniques of, okay, this is how you get good lighting, this is how you set up the proper exposure for your camera, all that you're going to know as a creator is how to replicate or really regurgitate their opinion or their specific technical way of going about things. Now, if we bring more awareness into ourselves as a creative, then we are able to create our own look, create our own aesthetic, and really go down our own path of creativity rather than going down the well worn down path, such as public schooling, where you're learning the same information and the same techniques as other people. If you know the same information, you're going to create the same kind of end product that others create with that same information. No, we don't want to do this, especially in filmmaking. We want to develop our own unique look, style, and aesthetic. So, the reason behind going into this personal development portion before we even get into pre production and production is for me to give you the information that you need to build more awareness and more understanding of who you are as a person, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your capabilities are, and more confidence, really, because confidence is simply understanding yourself, right? It's knowledge of yourself. So bringing more knowledge into you as a person is going to build that solid foundation that I'm talking about for your film career. Rather than replicating someone else's techniques, you have the information and knowledge of yourself and of deeper principles personally so that you know the daily habits that cultivate more creativity. You know the routines and the tools that we can use in everyday life to create more of a tuned up and body and mind that's ready to create incredible video content. So rather than giving you just the surface layer that a lot of these other tutorials do on YouTube and online, we're giving you, or I'm giving you, the entire equation so that you can't just replicate what's at the top. You have the entire piece, the entire alphabet, the entire understanding of yourself, of the techniques, and of the equipment to create incredible video content. Now, exciting stuff, right? With that said, the next thing that we're going to get into after the personal development, after tuning up and really getting in touch with your body and your mind so that you're a high end, ready, capable creator, is moving into the pre production element. Learning the logistics, the creative and practical and meaningful ways to set up your video for success before you've even begun to shoot. So, I'm going to be giving you all the ideas that I've learned personally from creating amazing videos, failing and creating terrible videos, and really collaborating with other creators and creating all different types of content. All the information that I've learned, I'm distilling that into the pre production course so that you understand the step by step real process to set yourself up for success as a video creator. Now, the next portion is going to be the production side. This is where it really starts to get interesting in the production. How to physically shoot your film. You've done the pre production, you know the storyboard, the style sheet, all the logistics, all those things we'll go into. And then when we get to the shooting side, that's really where I start to get really excited because there is so much potential that we have with this artistic medium of film, right? There is artwork that's through painting that we see it on the wall and we have a conversation from the observer who's seeing that artwork and the artwork itself, and all of that conversation is happening in the viewer. And now if we listen to a song, that song will instantly make us happy, sad, inspired, whatever it may be. All that reaction isn't happening in the song and in the painting. No, it's happening in the observer. So we're going to understand, and I'm going to teach you all of these deep underlying principles that allow you as a cinematographer to purposefully and consciously create all the emotions and reactions that you want in the viewer that's seeing your video. So rather than just knowing, okay, let's put our camera on the tripod, let's get our exposure correct. No, these are all surface level capabilities and really practical aspects of film. But what we're going to get into is all the deep information of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we're affecting the viewers of our video. Really interesting stuff. And then finally, once we understand how to shoot our video properly, how to set up everything that we need, and get all of these amazing ingredients into our film or video, then we go into the post-production side. Where we curate and bring together all these ingredients and bits and pieces and create a real masterpiece through sound design, our coloring, the way that we put and piece things together, right? All of these amazing techniques. So much stuff that I'm really excited to get into. It's a lot of dense information, so please take your time when watching this course. Trust me, there's a ton of stuff. What I've really done is really distilled and gathered and really concentrated, years and years of my production experience in life and in filmmaking, and synthesize that in a really practical and understandable way. But it's like I said, it's like a 7-year experiential course that I went through to really distill all this information in just to a few hours so that you can use that as a creator and really benefit and go to the next level and keep progressing in your path, on your career, and as a person. So, with that said, take your time doing this course. There's a lot of information, and really, I want you guys to be able to come back to this course and really use it as a map. If you're lost in the pre-production element of a video that you're working on, or you're shooting a video and you're lost about something on the production element, come back to this course as a map and as a guide, as your GPS to really understand maybe an element that you're missing. And it's going to take, maybe a few times of you watching the course to fully absorb these deeper principles and ideas that aren't at the surface level of the other kind of information that were given to you in traditional schooling or in traditional filmmaking courses. So, without further ado, let's get into the personal development of how to become an incredible video creator. What is up, guys? So, I just wanted to hop in here real quick with an update to further assist you while going through this course. Now, when I put this course